Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sadashivasamaramбhaं Shankaracharyamध्यमाम् Asmadacharyapāryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam. We are in the 6th question of Prashnopanishad, and in this 6th question, the student gave one example that one king came to meet the student. He is talking. He said, one king came to me and he asked me that what of whom are these 16 kalas, 16 facets, 16 qualities, 16 phases. Just like a diamond is one, but it has 16, you cut the diamond, it has got many different sides, like that. He says, who has these 16? And the student is looking outwards, and there the teacher told him, Angushta Matra, that the Purusha, the conscious principle, he alone is the cause of the 16 qualities. In the absolute, there are no qualities. In the relative, you cannot have but qualities. And just like water is unaffected by the various types of waves and oceans, each ocean has its characteristics. Some, the color is different, the salt content is different. Similarly, each wave has its own uniqueness, and so on and so on and so forth. The teacher says that all these 16 kalas are of the Purusha, and that Purusha is Angushta Matra. It is like, he is like the thumb. Angushta means the thumb. Angushta Matra, he is within your heart. And the student's problem is, how do I catch him? This is not only his problem, it is our problem, every seeker's problem, as long as this problem is not of a realized master. This problem is of every seeker. How do I come to know? I understand what you are saying, that the consciousness is there, and that consciousness is expressing through this body, that consciousness is pervading this body and all the bodies. But how do I catch it? How do I connect with it? How do I surrender to it? How do I come to know it? How do I become one with it? As long as all these questions are there, till then we are the stupid ones. We are like this student here. The student has asked only simple question, but Adi Shankaracharya has spent how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are on the 6th page of argument and discussion by the student, and there are still 4 more pages to go. and you can appreciate what Adi Shankaracharya is doing is to, even though that student may or may not has have asked that question in the Upanishad as such, but Adi Shankaracharya ji, out of his compassion to bring clarity to the student, he is going on a spiel of question and answers, an imaginary student, an imaginary teacher, uh, and addressing the various subtle aspects, angles of approach, where the mind, the relative mind, that is our mind means relativity, the mind can miss the mark, because mind means objectivity, mind means referential existence, mind means duality, and because that is the mainstay of the mind needs to become very clear, in fact crystal clear, as to appreciate that consciousness, which is its essence. The mind's essence is consciousness, and not search for it as an objective pursuit. When you do this type of go through this type of discussion, two things will happen: either clarity will come, or you will go to sleep while listening. You will put the video off and go to sleep. So, ready for the challenge? So, where are we? We are on page 103 in your books. Maybe it is page 95. ज्ञानस्य नेयत्वम् एव इति तदपि अन्येन इति त्वत्पक्षेति प्रसंगम इति चेत. The student is saying, Purva Pakshi means the student, he says, what does he say? Okay, we'll go one step before we answer this. The previous question was, there it was told. Where are we? Sorry, I lost the page. Why did it get lost? कहाँ चला गया यार? One moment, I have just lost the page for the English. One moment. This is the second question. I have to go to sixth question. Sixth question. Sixth question. Got it. And we are.
Which page, Swamiji?
No, I'm on a different. I lost the bhashya. I have to find that. One moment. Because I got it on the laptop and I pressed something and it went away.
Alert from no backups for 1,520 days.
It's okay, man. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, found it. So here it told uh, that uh, that the the student said in the previous question that the uh, that the conscious is known to itself, the consciousness knows consciousness. The teacher said no, consciousness does not know. Since the distinction, this is the previous question we are looking at, since the distinction of the two, that is the knowledge and object, has already been explained, that knowledge and the object are two separate, and therefore uh, that when we are talking about knowledge which pertains to an object, and that object, so we have normally laptop is an object, these words are object, this book is an object, but there is another object. What is that? Non-existence also we make it into an object. And uh, so this knowledge of the non-existence is different from that non-existent object, and therefore the difference between the knowable and the knowledge, that the knowledge and the knower, and the knowable, that is the one who knows the knowledge, they are distinctly separate. This is an established fact the teacher is telling. Remember what we are trying to do here in this whole discussion. The teacher is uh, first he's trying to desuperimpose and then superimpose again. And this is the technique in Vedanta, by which when we talk about relativity, we talk about referential existence, when we talk about immortality, when we talk about jiva, we talk about prarabdha, destiny, when we talk about soul, when we talk about karma, all these are working theories. When we talk about all these terms, don't take them to be real. They are there only to prove one thing. We are studying, they have been introduced into the scriptures only for one purpose, and that purpose is to know that you are the truth. But what happens? People get lost in these terms and they take those terms as real, that the soul is real, that the karma is real, that the surrender is real, that the realization is real. When you come to this point, there is nothing called realization also. But right now, where we are, we have the teacher is trying to impress upon the student that the knower and the known are separate to each other. Understand this, and he says that we have proved this again and again, and you cannot keep reviving this argument like reviving a dead person, and uh, uh, nor can it be reversed. Here he says, nor can it be reversed. uh, 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 पुनरन्यथा कर्तुं शक्यते वैनाशिक शतैरपि. So he says that this is the last one, that even if 1,000 Vainashika is those who believe in everything is kshanika, everything is dying, everything is nihilist, and that philosophy is the Buddhist philosophy. So he says that even it cannot even be reversed by 100 nihilist Buddhists. If they come along and try to argue, they will not be able to uh, uh, prove. And this is how Adi Shankaracharya defeated Mandana Mishra, who was a Buddhist, and he was a karma kandi, and eventually, and his wife was the referee. She herself was very knowledgeable, and when he and the challenge was that if Adi Shankaracharya gets defeated, he will become Buddhist, but if Mandana Mishra gets defeated, then he will become Vedanti. And eventually he took to sannyas, and he was the first Acharya of the Sringeri Mutt, Sureshwaracharya. He became Sureshwaracharya. Now continuing, this is the point where we are now. Jnanasya gneyatvam eveti tadapi अन्येनेति त्वत्पक्षेति prasangam iti chet. The questioner is saying that according to me, as far as knowledge is known by some other knowledge, then this question will keep appearing. Then who is knowing the knower? And we will regress from what you are saying, since that knowledge must have another knowledge to know it, and then again, so this world is known by the eyes are known by the mind is known by the intellect, and intellect is known by the reflected consciousness is known by the sakshi is known by the by the Parama Purusha. Who is Parama Purusha known by? And this will keep going on. This is the question. The teacher says, no. Every time the no comes, means the teacher is digging in. And he says, no. Tad vibhaga upapattehe sarvasya yada hi sarvam niyayam kasyachid tada tad what is that? Tad व्यतिरिक्तं ज्ञानम एवेति द्वितीयः विभाग एवाभ्युपगम्यते वैनाशिकैः न तृतीयस्य तद्विषय इत्यनवस्थानुपपत्तिः. So here he says that no, for logically the distinction between knowledge and objects is possible, but when we admit that everything is knowable to some knowledge, Everything means everything in the waking, everything in the dream, absence of everything in the deep sleep. Everything is known by someone, no? So if someone is there who is knowing the waking, dream, and deep sleep, then he must be knowing everything that is going on in the waking and the dream also, and their absence. So, if we admit that everything is knowable to some knowledge, and that knowledge, what is the status of that knowledge? That knowledge which is different from its content remains what it is forever, meaning that this is known by that knowledge which does not fade away with what is known. The object of knowledge comes and goes. We remember in Jnaneshwar, in Chinmay, what I'm saying, in Amrit Anubhav, when we are studying, or we are still studying, there we were looking at that with every object, the subject appears. I see is one statement. I hear is another statement. I taste is another statement. So, with every thought, the subject, object, and the instrument of knowledge. So seer seen seeing is coming, and that one thought is complete. Then knower known knowing is coming, that thought is complete. Then hearer heard hearing is coming, that thought is complete. So what is happening in this particular example that we are giving? That with every object of knowledge, the subject is also vanishing. You understand? But there is someone behind. There is someone within who knows this parade of thoughts. Every thought is made up of Triputi, subject, object, and instrument of knowledge. Who is that subject who does not come and go, but who observes the subject and the relative subject or the referential subject with respect to the object come and go with every thought, with every experience, with every knowledge? The teacher is bringing his attention that there is someone, there is that knowledge which remains as it is forever. It does not come, it does not go, it does not get born, it does not die. It is eternally there. And then he says that here it says jnanam eveti dvitiyo vibhaga evabhya upagamyate. So he says this is the second category, or the second point that is admitted by all who are not nihilist. Those nihilist meaning those who believe that everything is going out of existence every moment. They don't believe in the ever continuing, uncorrupted presence that one is. They don't believe that. And that's why you see in Buddhism, all the Dalai Lamas, all the Rinpoches, they all are, they go around looking for where the soul has been born. Now, another few years, then Dalai Lama will say, I will be born here, and China will say, no, no, we found the real Dalai Lama. This is going to happen within our lifetime. And another drama will begin. Vedantis, those who are committed to the self and be the self, they do not admit the conclusion of the nihilists. And for us in Vedanta, we believe that there is this one eternal watcher, eternal witness who does not come, who does not go, and apart from him there is nothing else. And that is the final. Uh, uh, and Other than knowing this witness, there is nothing else to be known in life or in creation. Take this in the right spirit. There is nothing else to be known in this life or creation other than this knowledge, other than this eternal knowledge, in whose presence all the referential knowledges, meaning thought knowledges, are coming and going. That is worthy to be known. And how do you know it? Except you cannot know it like I am knowing the laptop. It is impossible. At the mind level, subject and object. But at the eternal witness level, there is no subject and object. He is ever there, whether you accept him or you don't accept him. But Vedantis accept, others don't accept. And therefore, the teacher answering the question of the student, that there is no infinite regress. Who knows whom, like we gave you the sequence. The world is known by the illuminated by the sun is illuminated by the eyes are illuminated by the mind, and so on. He says, no, once you come to that eternal knower, that eternal knowledge, or there is no one behind him to know it. He is all that there is. The student is also listening, and he says, wait a minute, where are we? Jnanasya svenaiva avigneyatve sarvajnatva haniriti chet. The questioner asks that if knowledge remains unknown to itself, then how can that knowledge be omniscient? That is not possible. Then he is thinking. See, what happens is, we know or we hold that whatever is known are objects of knowledge. You all these objects in the room, they are all objects of knowledge. But the knowledge itself, that means the eternal knowledge, Sat, we say, no, Atma is Sat Chit Anand, that Chit is the knowledge. That knowledge itself is not known. It cannot know itself objectively. See? Because the nature of consciousness is always consciousness. The nature of knowledge is always knowledge. It can never become ignorance. Oh, but before we saw we have to give up ignorance, we have to be knowledge. That was all at the relative level, Baba. That was all at the ego level. That was all at the object level. But where the teacher has brought you to, from there is no fall possible. So accept that you are that eternal one, and that eternal one is always the knowable. He is always known to you. Do you ever say, I don't know myself? You may say, I don't know that I had this quality. I don't know if I was awake or asleep. I don't know what I ate yesterday. But do I have a doubt about my existence? Even if I was sleeping? No, I got no doubt whatsoever. So that one is always there. And therefore the knowledge is always there. We are not talking here about relative knowledge or referential knowledge, or that knowledge which is uh, uh, due to a subject, known to a subject. Knowing an object will come and go, subject will also come and go, object will also come and go, but there is one subject who knows. If I want to use that word, call him the knowledge, call him the knowable, who knows that all the wakers and waking world every day has come and gone. Every day the dreamer and the dream world has come and gone. Who is that fellow? Has that fellow ever come and gone? No, he is ever there. And that you are, that I am. The teacher says, where are we? The teacher says, Saha api doshaha tasya eva astu kim tan tanni barhanena asmakam anavastha doshascha jnanasya ज्ञेयत्वाभ्युपगमात् अवश्यम च वैनाशिकानां ज्ञानम ज्ञेयम स्वात्मना चा विज्ञेय त्वेनानवस्था निवार्या निवार्या. So the teacher is saying that if that defect is there, and if you say, how can that be possible? Knowable is ever knowable. How? I think there is some defect here in this statement. How can knowledge be ever the knowledge? I think there is a defect in this statement. The teacher says that defect is belonging to the Buddhist alone. It is not your problem. Let him deal with it. Are you a non-believer? Are you subjective? Are you being the witness? So he says that this problem of objectifying is in the nihilist philosophy. Why should we go ahead and remove that problem? Let them deal with their problem. We have no problem. And because of these fellows believe that there is infinite regress arising from admitting that the knowledge is an object of knowledge. That means here when we are talking object, knowledge is the object of knowledge, that the self is the object of knowledge. For knowledge is certainly knowable according to these nihilists. So they want to know everything as an object of knowledge. They will, and therefore they conclude to shunya, and they cannot go beyond that. Let them deal with that. What can we do about it? Are you clear or not? If you are clear, don't go in that direction. The infinite regress is possible because the knowledge cannot be known by itself. The eyes cannot know the eyes. The mind cannot know the mind. The self cannot know the self. Understand this. This is where sometimes we all go wrong in our own analysis of in meditation, or in when we are studying Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads and we are asked to be subjective, or we get a headache because we are looking, where am I am there, but there's nothing there, but I'm still there, but where am I? And your attention is on the void or something, and then eventually you get a headache and you go to sleep. Or you go into samadhi and then come out, but it's a temporary affair. The student says, he's Chalu. He says, Samanam evayam dosha iti chet. This, you are talking about the Buddhists and the nihilists. This faulty thinking is equally evident in your theory also. That's true. The teacher, what can you do when you got a student like this? न ज्ञानस्यैकत्व उपपत्तेः सर्वदेशकालपुरुषादि अवस्थम् एकमेव ज्ञानं नामरूपादि अनेकोपाधि भेदात् सवित्रादि जलादि प्रतिबिम्बवद् अनेकधावभासत इति नासौ दोषः तथा तथा च इह idamuchyate. So the teacher says, no. Because logically, when we say no, logically, according to Nyaya, but here also, the consciousness can be logically shown to be one. It is not two, it is only one. Oh, the consciousness is one. There is no reflected consciousness. No. Then why did we use that word reflected consciousness? Because you are not ready to accept that you are the one. That's why. See? So where we are in this world, from there the teacher takes us to our essential nature. So if consciousness is one, then it has to be existing in all the places. That means desha kala vastu. It is pervading. It is in and through all the places, all the time, all the persons, all the objects, etc. And all this multiplicity and variety is appearing only because of the various conditionings that have the limiting conditionings that have come about, and we have given those conditionings the name, form, space, time, objectivity, etc. Just like here the example is taken, just like the reflections of the sun on the water. See, so reflection of the sun on the water is one, but if there are many waves, then the number of reflections of the sun become many, because conditionings are many, but the reflection is only one. Yeah. Therefore, the teacher tells the student that your objection has got no power, has got no force, has got no validity, and whatever we have been saying, that the Purusha is within, and that Sakshi is within, that consciousness is within, and you are that consciousness. Uh, 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 all this. All the statements, all the discussion is leading us to that. Nanu Shrutihi iha evantah sharire parichinnaha kundabadaravat purushaha iti. The student says, now, from the Upanishadic texts, here itself inside the body, in the Prashnopanishad chapters, in the second verse, it follows that Purusha is contained here inside the body. Angushta matra Purushaha, we just told you. And so how can you say it is all pervading when the Upanishad is saying that it is inside this body? He is selecting the verses that suit his argument. That is the problem. Not a problem. He is a genuine student and he wants clarity, and therefore, whatever wherever his mind is stuck or whatever he has given value, or whatever he is remembering, all that he is bringing forth to put his point across, and is here inside the body like a jujube fruit in a vessel. So the teacher says no, again no. Every time he opens his mouth, the teacher has to say no. प्राणादि कला कारणत्वात् न हि शरीर मात्र परिच्छिन्नस्य प्राणश्रद्धादीनां कलानां कारणत्वं प्रतिपत्तुं शक्नुयात् कलाकार्यत्वाच्च शरीरस्य हाउ मच इज देयर हाँ न हि पुरुष कार्याणां कलानां कार्यं सत्शरीरं कारणं स्वस्य पुरुषं कुंडबदरमेवा मेवाभ्यंतर कुंडबदरमेवाभ्यंतरी कुर्यात्. The teacher says that no, what you are saying is again wrong. You are looking at it only what you want, that you are bringing it out, because Purusha is the cause. See, every effect, remember, every effect must have a cause, relatively speaking. So when we say Bhutakash, the cross space is the effect in which the whole physical creation that you can see. What is the cause of the physical space? What is the cause? The cause is the mental space. If there is no mental space, you cannot have the physical space outside. For whom? For yourself. What is the cause of mental space? Conscious space. Chidakash. If Chidakash is the cause of the Chittakash, the mental space, then that Chidakash is pervading the mental space. And the physical space is only a thought. Is only a thought in the mental space. Therefore, Chidakash is the cause of the mental space and the conscious space. It is omniscient, omnipotent, all pervasive in and through the physical space and the mental space. Exactly the same way. Here he says the Purusha is the cause, is the Karana of what? Of parts such as pranas, etc. And because all these parts can never know their cause. See, the wave can never come to know the ocean. If it tries to go and know the ocean, it will lose its waveness. See? That ocean was present, it was searching for ocean because it had a thought that I am a wave, there must be someone total who is my cause. So it surrenders to the ocean. But when it surrenders to the ocean, it does not become one with the ocean. It becomes one with the water. It bypasses the ocean. Same is our case. If you are attentive on the conscious principle, then you will not get to totality. You will straight away get to the absolute. But if you have a thought, this is not given here, if you have a thought called Ram or Krishna or Shiva, then you will go to those lokas. They are the total, they are the ocean, because you are imagining them to be, because you were individual and your attention was on the total. But the truth is, individual and total are both imaginations in the absolute. So, all the various parts, pranas, limbs, etc., the body is made out of all these different parts. Then, how can, being a body, you can come to know the Purusha, the conscious principle? So, yes, when we say Purusha is all pervading, just like water is all pervading, water alone is, from relative standpoint, is expressing as the ocean, and the waves, they are the parts. One is the total part, one is the individual part, but the parts can never know the cause, the eternal cause. They cannot come to know that. And therefore, yes, Purusha himself is expressing as all the various parts. The Purusha himself is expressing as the potentiality. The Purusha himself is expressing as the Panchakoshas through his Shakti. But the various parts put together is not equal to the Purusha. All the waves put together is not equal to the infinite waters. You understand? All the finite waves, past, present, future, if they were able to come together somehow and decide, now we will, there's no way where that water can escape us, we will catch the water. When you listen to this example, you laugh, you must be smiling that it is not possible. Similarly, put all your faculties together, put all your parts together, put all your physiological functions together, put all your seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting together, put all your breaths together, put all your thoughts together. Putting them together is not equal to, they cannot come to know the source. Purusha is the source, he is the origin, therefore he is called Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta, the most ancient one, the eternal one, the unborn one. There is no one beyond it. And the parts which are called part, and everything is Purusha, but it is called parts because of the conditionings. Our attention is on the conditioning. Everything is space, but our attention is on the walls. What can one do then? So bring your attention to that Purusha Tattva, the Purusha principle, and uh, that Purusha principle cannot be objectified. बीज वृक्षादि वत्स्यादिति चेत वत्सादिति चेत यथा बीज कार्यम वृक्ष तत्कार्यं च फलं स्वकारण कारणं बीज सभ्यंतरी करोत्याम्रादि करोति आम्रादि तद्वत् पुरुषमभ्यंतर अभ्यंतरी कुर्यात् शरीरं स्वकारण कारणं अपीति चेत. Again the objection is raised, and he says, the student, the the one who is raising the objection, the student, he says this is possible on the he takes the analogy of the tree and a seed. He says, just as a tree is the effect of a seed, tree is the effect of a seed, and the effect of the tree is a fruit, a mango, for example, and which holds within itself. And what is the mango fruit holding within itself? Another seed, which is the cause of another seed. Similarly, the body can contain within itself even Purusha, though he is the cause of its own. See the कितना शातिर दिमाग है इसका. Put to us, we never come up with this, even a simple argument. Our argument is discussion is only pathetic. What should be my duty? Is it not my duty to take care of my children? Is it not my duty to take care of my parents? Is it not my duty to take care, to help the society, to help the poor person, to help the criminal? Go, take a hike. Our questions are such pathetic ones. Still stuck in the same rote. Same question we asked 40 years ago, same question we are asking today also. Because we have not matured with life. Our intellect has got stuck somewhere. In the karma, in the bhakti, and we are still seeing them as that it is very important. The most important thing in our life is the conscious principle. Everything else must you do or you don't. Yes, efforts have to be put. Here you're putting efforts, listening. I'm putting efforts, talking. But those efforts must take us to the conscious principle, must help us abide in that conscious principle, even while the interaction is going on. So, just like from the seed, the tree came, from the tree, the fruit came, in the fruit, another seed was there, and that seed again becomes the cause of another tree and another fruit, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. This is the student's argument, that he is the cause of his own cause. The seed is the cause of his own cause, the seed, because from the seed the tree came, from the tree the fruit came, and in the fruit the seed is there. Now the seed has become the cause of this effect. From first seed, this seed was the second seed was the effect, but now it has become the cause of the future seeds. कौन बोलेगा? No, the teacher says no. Again, what is that? अन्यत्वात् सावयवत्वाच्च दृष्टान्ते कारणबीजाद् वृक्षफलसंवृतात् संवृतानि अन्यान्येव बीजानि दृष्टान्तिके तु स्वकारणकारणभूतः स एव पुरुषः शरीरेभ्यन्तरीकृतः श्रूयते. I'll read the whole paragraph. श्रूयते बीजवृक्षादीनां सावयवत्वाच्च स्यादाधाराध्येयत्वं निरवयवश्च पुरुषः सावयवाश्च कलाः शरीरं च एतेनाकाशस्यापि शरीराधारत्वम् अनुपपन्नम् किमुताकाश कारणस्य पुरुषस्य तस्माद् असमानो दृष्टान्तः. The student teacher says, no, your conclusion is wrong. This is not acceptable because it presupposes, it implies difference and divisibility. It implies differences and divisibility. In the analogy, the seed contained in the fruits of the tree are different from the seed that produced the tree. See, the student's attention was on the seed, but he'll miss this point, that the original seed was different to the seeds that were produced. Just the word seed is seed, but the product is different. So the teacher is saying that the seed that produced the tree is different to the other one, to the cause, and therefore our conclusion was right about the Purusha. You cannot bring in this type of analogy and think in that manner. The teacher is trying to correct his thinking basically. Similarly, so the teacher reiterates that the same Purusha, that is the cause of the causes of the body. What could be the cause of the body? The five great elements, the mind, the potentiality. Out of that Purusha only the potentiality came. Out that potentiality itself became the Trigunatmika. Out of that potentiality came the Panchakoshas. So here he is saying that Purusha itself is the cause of all the causes of the body, and that Purusha is talked about as being confined within the body. See, the teacher continues. He says, moreover, things like the tree and the seeds can be recovered, and they can be recovered, they can be collected together. The fruits can be collected together, the seeds can be collected together. Like that, you cannot collect Purushas together, you cannot collect consciousness together. And that which is by nature divisible, that by which even though the parts are there, uh, so even though the parts are there and the parts put together is called the body, but that body cannot come to know the Purusha. So another example the teacher takes, and he says, not only about these parts, even the space cannot be contained within the body. We say that so that you can bring your attention to that Purusha, so that you become what you call, you accept that you are the Purusha in essence. But just like space cannot be contained within one body, similarly, Purusha also cannot be contained within the body. The nature of the Purusha is all pervasiveness. So how can the water be contained in one wave? Can the gold be contained in one ornament? Think. So if space cannot be contained within the body, how can the cause of the space, which is the Purusha, how can he be confined within the body? Therefore, your example of the seed and the tree and the fruit and the seed, that is inapplicable in this case. So correct your thinking, my dear. Kim drishtantena vachana syad iti chet. The student is getting frustrated. He says, leave the analogy alone. The point is, he's saying the point is born out of the text of the scriptures itself. And therefore he says, the teacher says, no. Again the teacher says, no. Vachanasya karakatvat न हि वचनं वस्तुनः अन्यथा करणे व्याप्रियते किम तर्हि यथा भूतार्था वद्योतने तस्मादन्तः शरीर इति एतद् वचनम् अंडस्यान्तः व्योम व्योम इति वच्च द्रष्टव्यम्. The teacher says that cannot be, for the scriptures, the Upanishads, the texts cannot create things, new things, because the scriptures or the Upanishads are only telling you what is already there. They don't create, they have not created some concept called reality, because reality is not a concept. Reality is not an imagination. Consciousness is not an imagination. Consciousness is not a word. Consciousness is not a concept which can be worked out through logic. Consciousness is self-existing and self-knowing. Remember that. And therefore, so the text is not meant to reverse anything here. Then what is the function of the scriptures? I have already told you, but here it is that the Upanishads or the scriptures, their purpose is concerned with expressing things as they are. They are presenting to you what is there, they are just mentioning it. If it is your problem, if you give it an angle, if you give it a slant and try to understand it differently, because you are not seeing things as they are. You see a woman and you call her wife, and then you say, I want to realize. Forget it. First you have to accept that woman as a woman. Whether that woman is your wife, whether that woman is your child, whether that woman is your grandchild, you have to accept it as a woman. Don't bring relationship in between. Then you can think of realization. When? On the seat of meditation, not while talking to them. While talking to them, do the drama. But when you are on your own, deep within yourself, you should be very clear. So scriptures, texts are concerned in expressing things as they are. They've got no axe to grind. They don't have to convince anyone. They don't want to prove anything. They are just telling you what is. Therefore, if the text is saying inside the body, it is to be understood in the same sense as the statement that as the space exists within the cosmic egg. Other than that, the texts are only conforming to the relative experience. And what is that relative? And they are presenting that relative experience logically in a particular format in front of us. And what is that logical ground of experience? Seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, knowing, feeling, intellectualizing, etc., etc. And therefore, here he says, the teacher is saying, for the student in the beginning, the Purusha is assumed to be residing within the body, and that body, that and so that the student, rather than get distracted by everything in this world, or by distracted by the various limbs, parts, get distracted by the senses or the various emotions, and the concepts. Here the the scriptures say Purusha is within the body, so that the student, the seeker, he becomes aware of that, becomes available, accepts to that Purusha as within the body. He doesn't go around looking from temple to temple, from pilgrimage to pilgrimage, and from scripture to scripture, from puja to puja, from havan to havan, from teacher to teacher. No. So where have you to seek that truth? Within yourself. If you're And that yourself at this moment is the body, and therefore for such students the scriptures has said the Purusha is within the body. Therefore it is said that the Purusha is inside the body. uh, So, even a fool or an ignorant person, nobody can conceive mentally that Purusha, the conscious principle, the supreme person, who is the cause of space, and uh, uh, that Purusha, who is the cause of space, how can he be conceived as being contained only within the body, like a fruit in a vessel? Uh, so don't misunderstand the Vedic texts. Don't misunderstand the Upanishads, uh, uh, because they are the valid means of knowledge, and we have to think correctly to come to what the Upanishads are saying. And therefore, here he says, उपलब्धि निमित्तत्वाच्च दर्शन श्रवण मनन विज्ञान आदि लिंगैः अंतः शरीरे परिच्छिन्न इव ही उपलभ्यते पुरुष उपलभ्यते चात् उच्यते अंतः शरीरे सौम्य स पुरुष इति न पुनराकाश कारणः सत् कुंड बदरवत् शरीर परिच्छिन्न इति मनसापीच्छति वक्तुं मूढ़ोपि किमुत प्रमाणभूता श्रुतिः. So that concludes this, and therefore, as a description of this Purusha, it has been said that Purusha in whom originate those 16 parts, the 16 kalas. Though even though that it was mentioned that the origination of the part was stated in the Upanishad, in the second verse of this chapter, so yeah. So understanding so part was, so this verse said that the part was stated in this verse, or it was in that what you are quoting, that body in the Purusha is in the body, that is dealing with creation, and we must understand the front and the back, what is the total scheme of thought that is presented there, and understand that in that context, not merely take it independently and stick to our guns trying to prove and And there in that part where it is said the Purusha is the origin, is not only in the body but it is also the origin of the 16 kalas. 16 kalas is the creation, and therefore creation is preceded by intelligence. Creation cannot come without intelligence. Creation cannot happen uh, just because it wants. No. When we say, take it subjectively, creation means the mind. Mind cannot exist if there is no intelligence, there is no consciousness. Consciousness has to be there in order for the mind in bracket intelligence to be there. And in this way, this whole thought is concluded in this with this discussion between the student and the teacher. And uh, we'll read the next verse and we'll look at it in our next class. स ईक्षां चक्रे स ईक्षां चक्रे कस्मिन्नहम् उत्क्रान्त कस्मिन्नहम् उत्क्रान्त उत्क्रान्तो उत्क्रान्तो भविष्यामि भविष्यामि कस्मिन् वा प्रतिष्ठिते कस्मिन् वा प्रतिष्ठिते प्रतिष्ठास्यामिति प्रतिष्ठास्यामिति. Together, this is the third verse. स ईक्षांश्चक्रे कस्मिन्नहम् उत्क्रान्त उत्क्रान्तो भविष्यामि कस्मिन् वा प्रतिष्ठिते प्रतिष्ठास्यामिति. What is that third verse? We'll look at it with the Sambandha Bhashya. We'll look at it in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.